And last but not least, we have Catherine Monagas. She will be presenting on behalf of the group that's working on an energy management plan and data collection for three, not one, but three Florida cities under Thomas Abdallah. Catherine?
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you again for that introduction. My name is Catherine Monagas, and I will be presenting my team's capstone today based on three cities' energy transition journey in the state of Florida. I am the deputy manager of this capstone project. Our deputy advisor, Tom Abdallah, is up here in the front row, and our primary manager, Aubrey, is in the back, and the rest of our team, our amazing team, is here, and they've been great throughout the whole process. What cities did we work on throughout this project? The three main city demographics we worked on were the city of Jacksonville, as we can see in the northeast corner of the state, is the largest city we worked on, and they are the furthest along in their energy transition journey. They also have one of the largest land and populations in the United States. So they have a large ground to cover when it comes to their energy transition journey. We also have the city of Woodward Park. They are a smaller city located outside of Orlando, and they are relatively more affluent. So that does affect their energy transition as they are more economics based. And then we have the city of Boynton Beach. They are a medium-sized city, Southeast Florida, and they have a more median income compared to the other two cities. These cities are vastly different. They are at vastly different points of their energy transition journey, and if anyone here has been to Florida, you know this is a very large state. I myself am from Florida. I know that cities think very, very differently. So working with these three cities along their transition journey was definitely an experience. So what was our journey? We began with the city of Palm Coast with our wonderful sustainability officer, Maven Rogers. We were working with their energy transition plan, and we hoped to build a plan for them so they can get going with their reductions. But sadly, a few weeks into our capstone, their office was dissolved. She graciously referred us to three other cities at different points throughout their energy transition journey that we were able to work with throughout this entire journey. And that does bring into three Florida considerations I am going to keep to throughout this presentation. We are primarily focusing on energy and water because that is what people care about. That is what the politics care about. ESG and sustainability is a little bit redlined, so you will see us specifically focus on water and energy throughout this presentation. To start with Boynton Beach again, they are the earliest in their energy transition journey. We were just gathering energy data from them. They really wanted us to get going with the baseline energy plan. And again, they had really just started to think about what sustainability could look like in their office. Then we have the city of Winter Park. They had previously gathered and inputted their energy and utility data into an Energy Star management system. There were gaps in this data, however, so they wanted us to properly baseline this information and see where we can go from there. And then we have the city of Jacksonville, the largest city on this list, of course, and the furthest along in their sustainability journey. They had previously built a resiliency plan, and they wanted us to see how we could further implement projects throughout their quite populous city. Again, this is a quick overview of kind of where the cities are along their energy transition process. Boynton Beach is just beginning to kind of make these key decisions, identify what they really want to do with their journey. Then we have Winter Plan. They're really beginning to analyze their data, analyze their landscape, see where they can benchmark their data to really progress. Then we have Jacksonville again. They're actively executing large-scale plans. For Jacksonville specifically, we did work on a large case study because they are implementing this plan, so it might seem a little put in there at the end, but you can kind of see how large cities in Florida can progress on these journeys and how they can start implementing large-scale projects. So to begin, we have, again, the city of Boynton Beach. This city was able to provide us with 15 months of municipal energy data, and they really wanted us to input this information into an Energy Star management portfolio system and start benchmarking this data for future energy reduction purposes. Doing this, we were able to see that water, lift were the big pain points in this city. We can see over 50% of the water infrastructure was responsible for most of the energy use. They were the big energy users. Because of this, we therefore come to the conclusion that they should specifically focus on these big energy using sites for their reduction strategies. So implement these sites yearly into the Energy Star management system, look at ways to reduce this energy, and really establish this energy baseline. And we also recommend, since they are so early, they really, really utilize these free EPA resources, for example, that can help them build a roadmap that can help them really reduce their energy usage and their water usage. Again, that's a big thing in Florida. Moving on to the city of Winter Park. They had previously begun to implement their energy data into an Energy Star portfolio management system, but there were a lot of gaps. So this is where we start to see an energy trying, an energy a few years ahead, but a lot of gaps in their data, so we can't really benchmark this information or build a comprehensive energy plan for them. But we did see again that water was a big pain point. A lot of reduction can happen with their water and lift stations. And that is a trend that you will see throughout most cities in Florida. So what do we conclude? Because of the large gaps in data and also the really difficult communication that they were having between their utility sectors, between different offices within their local government, we recommend that they join something that they were previously interested in called the Better Buildings Challenge. It can help them really commit to an energy plan, and it provides them the technical assistance they need to have better data management, more properly aggregate their data, better benchmark their data, so they can really reduce this energy usage in the years to come. It can also help them with grant and funding opportunities and help them connect with other cities that are possibly going through the same issues and work with them to really progress in these journeys. Lastly, we have the big boy. We have the city of Jacksonville. They are the furthest along in their energy transition journey again, and they are very much implementing large-scale projects. They have a resiliency plan that they implemented in 2023 called Resilient Jacksonville, and in this they have around $1.4 billion renovations planned for the Jacksonville Stadium, which is currently underway, and this is the case study we will be working on and analyzing today. And what we as a team were able to do was analyze this stadium and see how the city can implement this stakeholder buy-in that they were able to get for this city and implement it into other large-scale projects. So what were we able to conclude? We really recommend that they benchmark this stadium against other LEED stadiums to see the positives of not LEED specifically, but a lot of energy reduction strategies, utility reduction strategies, and most importantly, carry out a cost-benefit analysis at 3 different benchmark levels for this stadium. So for the top level, we recommend they carry out a best-case scenario. So the very early stage plans, what was the most they could do? LEED implementation, full energy and utility reduction if possible. We further recommend that they do a CBA of a base case, so what will be the reality after the $1.4 billion renovation. And lastly, the lowest case, so benchmarked against cities with 0 sustainability implementations, benchmark against their energy and utility use before the renovations, and the environmental, health, social benefits that they can see through this cost-benefit analysis, they can really use to push future projects on this scale onto the political bodies, onto the populace, for people to see how important these large-scale projects are. So moving forward, what do we recommend for all 3 cities? Proper data aggregation is very important. We saw that gaps in data really prevented proper benchmarking of this information. We saw that just lack of data kept energy progression journeys from moving forward. And lack of data from the city of Jacksonville, for example, really prohibited us from providing them a full CBA ourselves instead of just a recommendation. Collaboration internally and externally would really benefit these cities. As we see with the assistance of the Better Buildings Challenge, for example, outside collaboration would really assist with the progression of these energy journeys, but also internal collaboration, more easily getting this data and this information would have really benefited them. And we were able to get this information and get in contact with these cities because of collaboration from the city of Palm Coast, for example. So we see how important collaboration is. And also planning. Really long-term energy goals require a lot of planning. They require resiliency plans, and we see this currently being implemented with the city of Jacksonville, for example. So we see the importance of planning. We see the importance of really long-term scalable action. And I want to thank everyone here today. Again, I am a Floridian, so these journeys and these energy and water reduction strategies are really important to me. Thank you all for listening to me today, and I hope I kind of spurred some interest in Florida and an energy transition journey for you guys. Thank you.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. What does water management make it so energy intensive, or why is that so energy intensive?
So water does have, we have natural aqueducts and things like that, but just the pumping of water, the amount of water that Floridians use on a daily basis is unscalable. It's a very large amount. I wouldn't necessarily compare it to other states because I'm not quite sure what that statistic is, but just the usage of water, again, Florida, if people are unaware, is tropical, so it is dry around 70% of the year, pretty dry. So we need water in those months as well. We are big lawn waterers, so just there's a lot of water usage. And Floridians as a populace don't really know how to conserve water, so we do see these really large water usage across the state.
Hi, great presentation, super interesting. What were some of the most common fundamental data gaps that you saw across the cities that you worked with? And can they be resolved through the offices that you are working with collecting it themselves, or will there be policies that are needed to help them get it?
So it was a combination. A lot of it was within offices, but the data gaps we saw were a lot of miscommunication, for example, between the utility company and the sustainability offices, just lack of communication, lack of interest. When people hear they need this data for sustainability and energy benchmarking, there's not a lot of interest in the state. So a lot of it is internal, but we look at Jacksonville, for example, we couldn't get their information because of the politics. So it is city by city basis.
Thanks for the presentation. Just curious, what are some of the solutions to this water management problem that they have, and were you guys able to quantify what it would take by putting those solutions in place, the savings that they would get from it, and maybe overlay that with future city development projects that could potentially bring in more support?
So our biggest recommendation was for a lot of these cities, because they are so early in their journeys, to really just start benchmarking and inputting the proper utility data into these energy management systems to get large reduction in place in these cities. We need resiliency and reduction strategies, which is the first step, which isn't currently happening. And we also need to get the local populace and the politicians to agree that water reduction is really important, which also isn't a super uptaking idea at the moment. So our largest recommendation really was baseline. Let's benchmark, let's tell them why this is so important, and then they can move forward with their journeys as a city.
Thank you.